It was way different to Wembley because I remember at the time I was thinking, oh, I could be dying here, and it was like a really weird feeling. So I was just like thinking, like, don't shut your eyes again.
Other than the dizziness, that's all I felt, and then waking up, it was just a really sore chest. It was like I'd been hit by a bus.
To play extra more games when I've got a family and kids and stuff, so we made the call and said that, you know, it's probably time to call it a day.
And then, yeah, like the doctors came and explained everything. I say, okay, it's a miracle then that I'm still here, you know.
Every year, more than 30,000 people suffer cardiac arrest outside of hospitals, with the survival rate being less than 1 in 12. Now football has a new issue, a new challenge to tackle, keeping players, fans and coaches alive on and off the pitch. A duty of care that goes beyond the 90 minutes.
Just want to introduce yourself.
Tom Lockyer, Luton Town Football Club.
On the 16th of December 2023, Luton Town captain Tom Lockyer suffered a cardiac arrest in a Premier League game against Bournemouth. This was the second time the 29-year-old had collapsed on the pitch, with the first being in the playoff final at Wembley just a year earlier.
That is so sad. Tom Lockyer is a heart and soul footballer. He really epitomises what's good about Luton Town, and for his final to be finished like this, it's devastating.
It was way different to Wembley because I remember at the time I was thinking, oh, I could be dying here, and it was like a really weird feeling. So I was just like thinking, like, don't shut your eyes again. You could be dying, which is like, I can speak about it now. Like, I'm not really one for like too much emotion. It does stir up a little bit, only because my fiance was there with, she was 7 months pregnant at the time. So then I was kind of like, oh shit, like, yeah, like, don't close your eyes, like, you could be dying. And then it felt like an eternity, but then eventually I could speak. And then he was like, can you hear me? I was like, yeah, Chris, I can hear you, like, what's going on? He's like, you've collapsed again. And then I was like, oh, okay, like, but then when I knew I could speak, I kind of was like, okay, like, I'm gonna be okay. And then, yeah, so I was like, I knew they were in the stand. So I was like, right, well, let me like walk off. I need to show everyone like I'm okay. And he was like, you're not going to be walking off. Like, we need to do this properly.
And they did. On the 14th of March 2024, Lockyer made his return to the Vitality.
Moment. The last time Tom Lockyer was on this pitch, his life was in serious peril. But thanks to the swift actions of both the players.
From a moment of thanks and gratitude to those that kept him alive, to a video of encouragement for fellow cardiac arrest survivor Jack Marshall.
Hi Jack, it's Tom Lockyer here. Your mate Aaron told me what happened yesterday when you were playing football, so just a quick message from myself to wish you all the very best. I'm glad to hear you're doing well, and that's why we have these ICDs in SA for situations like this. So yeah, I hope you're doing well, and glad to hear you are recovering. So yeah, take care mate, and look after yourself.
Jack Marshall, 21 and Harpenden Town.
On the 27th of April 2024, Jack suffered a cardiac arrest while making his debut for Kempston Rovers. After 4 attempts to revive him on the pitch, his internal defib was successful in bringing him back to life.
The only thing I remember is just before, I went a bit dizzy, eyes went black. As they were taking a shot at me, eyes went black, and I just dived, hoped to save it. Nearly saved it, to be fair. I'm not letting the striker have it because I couldn't see, so I'm not giving it to him. But yeah, no, it was amazing. The support from everyone, Steve, the family, Elliot especially, physio, and Rich as well, the manager at the time. Just thank you to them.
So much support across the non-league and the EFL for a young player that has been through so much. A family club bringing every heart together as one. A day that will live in the memory of all those that were there.
You're not going to ask me my age, are you? Firstly, could I get your full name and your job title?
Stephen Richard Brooks, and I am the chairman of Kempston Rovers Football Club. Well, yeah, the game was going well. After about 40 minutes, Jack collapsed and we conceded. He was playing really well up until that point. He'd done everything right. It was his first game for the club, last game of the season against Hadley, and he was excellent. And then it just went all pear-shaped, and everyone was running here, there and everywhere. I've never seen the mum run so fast in all my life to get onto the pitch, and I tried to keep up with her and I couldn't. And we were there on the pitch, some crying. And yes, I admit I cried as well because it was so emotional. Spoke about Elliot before. Elliot was out of this world. He was amazing. He's now gone on to West Bromwich Albion as a coach there for the academy. He's doing really well, but he was excellent on the day, and I'm getting tearful now.
So my name's Leon Barnett. I played at Northampton 2016 to 2018.
On the 26th of November 2018, Leon was forced to retire from professional football due to a heart condition.
Yeah, so I had a heart condition. I didn't really realise until it was a game against Wickham in the Carling Cup, I think it was. It might have been the second game of the season. So it was away. Played full 90 minutes. And then I remember sort of walking back sort of towards the halfway line, sort of 85 minutes, and mentioning to, I think his name was Anders at the time, he was the physio, just that, you know, I started to feel sort of lightheaded, everything around me seems to be going quite quickly. I don't know why, but he automatically said, listen, we'll go up to Birmingham and sort of get it checked out. Even then I didn't think it was nothing to do with my heart. We had a small operation over a couple of days. I was back in training. And I had like a small GPS just to monitor my heart and just to see what's it doing when I'm active. Went back into training, went back into another game, and I think it was Bury when I played him here. Had the same sort of feeling. Spoke to Anders again. It must have been sort of 88 minutes into the game, and yeah, obviously he mentioned come off. We'll get it checked out. So the next day, I think it must have been a Wednesday. Went up to Birmingham. Downloaded the data that was on the GPS, and they found out that my heart was doing something like 230 minutes per second. So that's unheard of. So I probably shouldn't have been like sitting here at the moment. But yeah, something that I've obviously had to come and deal with. Spoke to many people about what to do, and then eventually managed to speak to 3 cardiologists. 2 said, you know, it's probably worth, you know, considering retiring. Now I think there was 1 that said, you know, you probably can, you know, carry on. And I think where I've had a half-decent career, I thought, you know, I've played my best years. Is it worth risking to play extra more games when I've got a family and kids and stuff? So we made the call and said that, you know, it's probably time to call it a day.
However, for some of those that suffer a cardiac arrest, it may just be too much for a return to football.
Yeah, my name is Pochu Mendes Kalukane, and I'm a teaching assistant, but I do teach as well sometimes.
On the 27th of August 2022, Pochu suffered a cardiac arrest while playing for Hertford Town. After dying 3 times on the pitch, he was revived and taken to hospital.
To start with, it was quite like a lovely day, really. It was a sunny day, like today, for example, you know. Going to the game with the boys, literally another day in the life, really. Like enjoying in the car. Go to the game. I was still enjoying that one, though. But then, like, the only thing I could remember was literally like half-time. Go on the pitch, we were losing 1-0 and 1-0. And then suddenly I woke up in the hospital. And the first person that I saw was my coach and friend at the same time, Bernhard. So walked up to him and when he was trying to sort of explain to me like what actually happened and what no. And then he was telling me like everything that was happening and I couldn't remember anything at all, you know. And it was quite like mind-blowing, because from somebody like me, like sort of, I would say, fit and everything, like just something to happen suddenly just like that, it was not expected and whatnot. And then asking everyone around, like they were saying like, hey, yeah, it just happened. And when I asked them like what actually happened, they always tried to explain like it happened about 3 times and whatnot. And it was like, are you actually for real? Are you sure about what you're saying? And then yeah, like the doctors came and explained everything. I say, okay, it's a miracle then that I'm still here, you know.
Tireless work from physios, doctors and medics across the country has saved countless lives.
Alison and physio. I was actually playing back then, so I've just got my normal routine, got up, music on, sun was out, so I was buzzing. We were playing, I think we were playing Hertford, so it was quite a big game because they were quite a good team as well, and we were trying to get in the playoffs. So I got up my normal routine, had my breakfast, got ready, went to football, played. I think I played probably about half a game or just over. So I've gone and sat down in the dugout with my flip-flops on. Game's ongoing, and then unfortunately Poch went down. I think we were just talking about it earlier on when I just saw him. I think that moment there was just, there was nothing around you. It was just a blur of silence in that moment. And I've never had to like do it. So in that moment, I was surprised I remembered what to do. So yeah, it was scary, but I think in that moment you just kind of did what you had to do, and what I had to do was put that training in practice. And yeah, it did work that time.
The role of physios, so important in a sport so dangerous.
Yeah, my name's Bianca Chapman and I am the head sports therapist at Newport Pagnell Town Football Club.
Bianca's role keeping non-league football alive.
So I haven't had a cardiac arrest, thankfully, but I have had situations where an opposition player went down and had chest pains. So the game had to be stopped. I went on to help their therapist, and then we had to call an ambulance. We got the defib next to us, just in case, and then the ambulance crew came, and once they'd come we could carry on the game. Another one was a player was on trial with us, and he had a heart defect. As I'd only just met him and got to know his medical conditions, I asked him to get a letter from his consultant just to confirm that he can play, so that we had that backup and I wasn't putting him at risk, putting him on the pitch. Because especially at grassroots level, it's different when you go higher and you go into the professional game. You've got the doctors and you've got everything at hand, but at grassroots or non-league level, there isn't that safety net and that those checks that are done prior to the player playing. So making sure that I had those in place before he could go on the pitch.
Whether it was in the Premier League or in the non-league, every person has a separate story to tell. But I think we've just about got enough time for one more.
21 years ago, a young boy from Luton was fighting for his life in Great Ormond Street Hospital. After being diagnosed with an AVSD heart defect, he was told by doctors that he would never be able to play football. But 21 years later, I'm here to tell you there's still time to revive.
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 There's still time to revive, guys.
Thank you.